Welcome back to Filmplots. I am Dave DeBaugh, and on today's Filmplots, we are covering a brand new movie produced and directed by one of my all-time favorites, Elizabeth Banks. She has given the world Cocaine Bear. Now, a movie that actually just cost $20 million to produce, and in its first weekend at the box office here in North America, it generated a whopping $23 million. Not bad, Elizabeth, for a dark comedy about a bear who snorts a ton of cocaine and goes on a rampage in a Georgia forest.
Let's see what kind of effect that has on it.
The bear, it did cocaine. Absolutely brilliant. Let's see what kind of effect it has on him. Like, does that character in the movie actually work for an animal testing company that actually produces over-the-counter drugs for bears? You know, I have to say, I really love it when a director takes advantage of a clearly funny situation and makes it better with witty lines. Okay. Stay tuned for a preview of Cocaine Bear, which includes some actual sound bites from the always brilliant, as I said it earlier, Elizabeth Banks. Now, if you are new to Filmplots, and judging by the fact that this is only our second video, you probably are, please go ahead and hit that big red subscribe button in the sky and like this video. Now that I've got all of that completely out of the way, let's go ahead and cue the intro.
Filmplots, your daily dose of upcoming movies and classic film plots. We cover the good, the bad, and of course the unraveling of movie plots every single day.
So we are here today. It's like going to church. So we are here today to talk about Cocaine Bear, the dark comedy, as I mentioned, directed by Elizabeth Banks. Now, based on what I've been able to see so far about Cocaine Bear, I would say that this movie knows exactly what its plot is actually all about. Just think about it for a second. It's about a bear on cocaine. That's it. That's all they had to say in the IMDb. It's about a bear on cocaine. Coming up in just a little bit, we've got some Elizabeth Banks sound bites. But first, I wanted to make sure I gave you the basic plot, since this YouTube channel is called Filmplots. I thought it was important to at least cover the basic plot. So, this movie's inspired by the 1985 true story of a drug runner's plane crash, missing cocaine, and the black bear that ate it. This wild thriller finds an oddball group of cops, criminals, tourists, and teens converging in a Georgia forest. What happens, North America, in Georgia forest that you would have all these people there? Anyways, they encounter a 500-pound apex predator has just ingested a staggering amount of cocaine and gone on a coke-fueled rampage for more blow and blood. Just absolutely brilliant writing there. Now, I don't know about you, but going face to face with a bear in a Georgia forest, or hell, any forest, seems scary enough to me. But a bear on cocaine, now that truly feels like a no-win situation for everyone involved.
To me, that was also the theme in the movie that I wanted to explore. Man's hubris when it comes to nature, right? This idea that we feel like we can control nature, we can control animals, like we're top of the food chain, ba, ba, ba. And it's like, I know that nature is gonna win, you know? Like, we actually cannot compete. This earth, if it doesn't want us, it will get rid of us.
All right, great. Maybe if, Elizabeth, maybe if the bear had been smoking some weed instead of doing lines of coke, now that wouldn't have been nearly as scary as a bear on coke. Maybe that could be part of the sequel. Cocaine Bear goes to rehab and comes out a 420 stoner. Now, as Banks mentioned, this movie is loosely based on an actual bear which was given the nickname Cocaine Bear after ingesting, of course, a large quantity of cocaine that was dropped from a plane by a drug smuggler in the rural mountains of Georgia. That is Georgia, USA, not the former republic from the Soviet Union of Georgia. This all went down back in Back to the Future days in 1985 when Back to the Future was released. The bear weighed around 175 pounds, consumed 40 kilograms of cocaine. That was actually in a duffel bag, which was dropped by a plane. The bear's body was discovered 2 days later by hikers, and an autopsy later revealed that that this bear had actually overdosed entirely.
I read the script and I went down the sort of internet rabbit hole into the real story, and I found out that in the real story, the bear consumed this cocaine, OD'd, and died. And I thought, I was so sad about that. Like, it really depressed me that bear became sort of collateral damage in this insane war on drugs. And I just felt like this movie was the redemption story for that bear.
Yeah, because that bear absolutely needed a redemption story, didn't it? So the redemption story is on, as I mentioned, $23 million against a $20 million budget. The movie was a internet success, at least on YouTube and Twitter, with like 25 million views on YouTube of its trailer. Probably way more than that if you consider all the people that hijacked the trailer. Just fantastic internet success sort of heading into this weekend. As I mentioned, Elizabeth Banks produced and directed the movie, written with her by Jimmy Warden. The cast of characters is a really strong cast of characters. This was one of the last films that Ray Liotta filmed, and this movie is actually dedicated to him. Additional cast members include Kerry Russell, straight out of Compton, O'Shea Jackson Jr., Christian Cornvay, Alden Enrick, and Brooklyn Prince, and Isaiah Whitlock Jr., and of course, Margot Mattingdale, a fantastic cast of characters in this one. Absolutely love O'Shea Jackson Jr. All right, now for some quick closing thoughts about Cocaine Bear and this idea of this movie. Now, one of the things that and I love about film is the small guys, the small films that get made. But what I really love is the small films that get made that don't take themselves too seriously. And Cocaine Bear is absolutely the movie that does it. It has that dark comedy. It has that humor, and it brings a lot of different things together. I thought that after this first weekend we'd have another snakes on plane situation. We've sort of had the exact opposite of that, in that a lot of people coming out of the theater that went to see this movie in the first place were the right people to see this movie. Those people who enjoy satire, enjoy a little bit of senseless violence, have clearly found what I think will be a new cult following movie that I'm sure is going to be here for years to stay. All right, those are some closing thoughts for you on Cocaine Bear. I want to thank everybody so much for stopping by Filmplots for a stare. Please go ahead and hit that big red subscribe button in the sky. And of course, like this video as well. Look, I'll catch you next time on Filmplots, as there's always another movie right around the corner.
Filmplots. your daily dose of upcoming movies and classic film plots. We cover the good, the bad, and of course, the unraveling of movie plots every single day.